And
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Juan Cotto touching bases with you live from heaven, Seattle, Washington, on a 77-degree day. If you were here last week, you know that the weather was still in the 30s. We played a baseball game, my son's freshman team up at Mount Si, and it was literally 33 degrees and snow and rain. But today, it could not be more spectacular in the city. High of 77 and baseball being played at Garfield Park, part of the Seattle Olmsted Legacy Group Parks, as we've kept the trees down the left, right field lines, and you'll see those throughout the broadcast today. And you are joining us as the Garfield Bulldogs are taking on the Mercer Island Islanders. Edgar Nakamura, a good friend of ours, is on the mound for Mercer Island. The captain, Ben Bennett, is on the mound for Garfield just before you came on. Number 2, Shane DiNucci, who is infielder, the first baseman right now for Mercer Island. He struck out, and on the drop third strike, he hustled out, but was thrown out very, very quickly to extinguish a Mercer Island rally. Right now, the score is Garfield 1, Mercer Island 0. So great to be here with you today. So excited. It's just great to have baseball. Daniel and I think the last time you saw us, we were at Rainier Playfield on a freezing cold afternoon watching the Ballard Beavers take on the Rainier Beach Vikings. And here was Nakamura's first pitch. Just a little outside and high, ball 1. It was so cold that day, we shivered into the car as we left. Today, we have the opposite. It's going to be sweating. I mean, it is just warm out here. The wide from Nakamura, the pitch went with a breaking ball, and that was inside for ball 2. 2 balls. I was remarking to Daniel in our break that we had just before if you're just joining us, next pitch from Nakamura, right down the middle for strike 2. Eli Hurst is the batter, number 4. These two teams have some big dudes on there. This is a kind of a high school football team. These guys are big. This next pitch from Nakamura is inside. Nakamura wearing the 21 Mercer Island with black jerseys. They have kind of a gray piping down each side, starting from the neck. Black jersey with Islanders across the front. Wind from Nakamura and the pitch. The high fastball is grounded over the second baseman. Picks it up, skips a couple times, and throws it over to DiNucci for the out. So, the second out of the inning, the first out of the inning. Here comes number 8 for Garfield. This is Noah Lipman. Ben Bennett started this off in the first inning, got 2 quick outs, gave up 2 hits, then was able to force a ground out for the final out of the first inning. Oh, as a ball goes off the wall by number 8 for Garfield. Lipman hits a rocket out to right field. The throw goes over to third base. He is safe. A triple for Noah Lipman. So he hit a ball high in this high sky. I'm not sure if the right fielder lost it, but it was off the wall over there. And by the time the right fielder was able to gather himself and pick up the ball, Lipman scooted all the way around to third base. And that's going to bring up number 13 for Garfield, Big Juan, or number 19. The designated hitter, Juan Cotto, not to be confused with Juan Cotto. People mispronounce my name. But Cotto, a senior, he's featured amongst the seniors that are being saluted here for the class of 2020. There are 7 of them, and they are captains. Pitch from Nakamura. High, ball 1. Lipman at third base. Garfield in their purple uniforms. You know the colors. The white 19 on his back, a white bulldog on his right shoulder, white piping. Oh, and takes and let me tell you something. Edgar Nakamura is a pitching student, knows how to change speeds, has a good breaking ball, has command of his pitches. Kid who works very, very diligently. His father owns the Top Velocity in Bellevue, and Edgar's listed as one of the owners. He's over there quite a bit himself. So next pitch is a fastball I call that a box 3 fastball, high and tight on the hands. And if you know the strike zone portions, that's up in there. Boy, you better have to have quick hands to get to that pitch. Nakamura gets a sign. Lippman has a kind of creeping down the third base line. Here was pitch, strike 3, just threw it right by him. Just went ahead and challenged him with the fastball. He was able to go right by him, and that sets him down for the second out of the inning. Saul Johnson comes up, and he's looking for an opportunity to drive in the RBI. Nakamura working from the stretch. Lippman over at third base, average lead, taking a couple steps right now. Here's a pitch. It's right, more of a breaking. I think it was more of a slider. Caught the inside corner for strike 1. Saul Johnson, they have him listed at 6 feet, 175. Good-looking athlete. Wearing a black batting helmet. Here's a pitch. It's off the backstop here at Garfield is no more than I would say 15 to 20 feet behind the catcher, if even that much. From the tip of home plate, it probably extends back maybe, I'd say about 18, 19 feet. So it bounces off really, really quickly and gets back to the catcher. So it's really, really hard to advance on wild pitches and pass balls. Nakamura. Here's the set. Here's a pitch. Oh, yeah. So for those that are familiar, that was a box 9 fastball, low inside, and I don't know if Saul Johnson agreed with that. There has been one warning. The umpire today did told somebody, I think nobody in particular, that there was enough of that. So I don't think there's going to be any more chirping about balls and strikes. Off-speed pitch has popped up. It was kind of a swinging bunt. Kind of swinging bunt down the first base line. Stayed fair somehow. And the first baseman over there for Mercer Island, Mercer Island's first baseman, Chris Mock, just picks that ball up and steps on the bag. So after that triple by Lippman, he gets stranded there. It is after 2 innings, Garfield 1, Mercer Island nothing. You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio.world, our community radio station, your community radio station. And we are at Garfield. We are at Garfield Park. They call it Garfield Park, but you know where this is. We're on the corner of 23rd Avenue and Jefferson Street. The most legendary, some would argue, the most visible high school in the city of Seattle. There's people at Roosevelt and Franklin would argue with that. But Garfield, known for their purple and white. Garfield, known for their incredible array of athletes that have come out of this school. Quincy Jones and some of the other talent. There's the Quincy Jones Music Center over here at Garfield High School. So you know this area very, very well. Ben Bennett, a senior, wearing number 18, looking to take on one of the if not number 1 teams of the state of Washington. Certainly, Mercer Island baseball for the last 15 years, they have put together some outstanding runs, and they are certainly one of the top programs in the state. Such a great battle here, and I tell you, these Garfield kids, they know how to swing the bat as well. Here comes number 4 for Mercer Island. This is Marcus Alboson. Marcus wearing the number 4. Waving a red, it looks like, is that the goods? Oh, he drops that butt down. Bennett on top of it, throws across the diamond and gets him. So a nice idea against Ben Bennett, just got the butt too close to him on the mound. It was down the third base line and a little bit closer to the pitcher's mound than it was the line. And that was end of that. Ben Bennett, this kid is a left-hander, both left-handers, both southpaws today. They both have an idea how to pitch. It's the sign. Bennett looks a little bit high on that fastball. Ball 1. Mock is up at the plate. The first baseman, Chris Mock, wearing that maroon number 2. Pitch goes right by him. Strike 1. Bennett had no joking around on that fastball. Mercer Island, I guess you would call their color, some would call it maroon, some would call it burgundy maybe. He has white trim around that number 2 as a fastball goes outside from Bennett for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. They got white pants on today, both teams. Garfield, a lot of their players are wearing old school stirrups, purple, and they have those about 4 lines on those. as the next pitch produces a kind of a delayed swing from Mock. I think the ball was already in the catcher's glove before he swung it. It looked like a cartoon for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mock wearing white New Balance shoes, and that pitch is up high. Ball 3. 3-2, the count to Chris Mock. Bennett, he is a left-hander. Bennett is listed. He is, as this pitch is right down the heart of the plate. Strike 3. Bennett challenges him with a fastball, and it caught Mock by surprise, and he thought the pitch was maybe out of the strike zone, and only thing was sitting from my vantage point, that looked like a pretty decent pitch, and the umpire agreed with me. And not many people do agree with me. Bennett is listed at 6'1", 195. I tell you, Daniel, it's amazing. All these kids look bigger than me, and that their weight is like 30 pounds lighter than me. It's amazing.
That's athleticism.
They all look like these kids are big dudes, man. Mercer Island's Clark is at the plate. That's Max Clark, and he pops one up to right field. I'll tell you, that sun is going to play a little bit of a problem, but that is caught securely out there for the 3rd out of the inning. So for Mercer Island, there were no runs. I didn't see any hits, and there were no Garfield errors to speak of. So after 2.5, it is still Garfield clinging on to that 1-0 lead.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As we, I think we're about to get into the 3rd here, or are we in the middle of the 2nd?
We're in the middle of the 2nd inning.
Or middle of the 2nd. Okay. Middle of the 2nd. Got it. But the most interesting thing right now, obviously, this is the last week of the regular season, and everyone's, thinking about, playoffs. Where the Garfield Gold Bulldogs going to play? Well, as you can see on your screen right quick right here, Garfield will be playing in the 1st round. They'll play the winner of this play-in game that is currently going on between Roosevelt and Ingram, hoping to get a score from that game. But they will take on the winner. The winner of that game will take on Garfield on May 3rd. That's the 1st round right there. Also, Ballard and Chief Self, they'll play in the 1st round against each other. And Lakeside is awaiting to see who will end up being the 3rd seed out of the mountain. There's 3. There's basically as you can see on the standings real quick there, it's very close, and they're actually playing each other. So depending on how these games go today, Bishop Blanchette is playing O'Day, Seattle Prep is playing Eastside Catholic. So if Bishop Blanchette wins, they win the mountain. They get the top seed. If O'Day wins this game against Bishop Blanchette, they win the mountain. So they're actually playing for the mountain today. And here we go into the 2nd inning. 2nd half of the inning.
Jeremy Cogswell leading off for the Garfield Bulldogs to start the bottom of the 3rd inning. Nakamura into his wide. Here comes the pitch. It's fouled straight back off the screen. Strike 1. 0 balls, 1 strikes to Cogswell. It is always a beautiful day to come to this ballpark. You hear in the background. Garfield spells that one back, kind of a half swing. Got his hands up and just drilled it back. So it looks like Edgar's just a little bit high in the zone today. Cogswell wearing the number 3 on his back. Wine, the pitch, curveball, broken off, and Cogswell didn't even have a chance at that one. That pitch changed speeds and just dropped in like a parachute. That will be the 1st out of the inning. Nakamura K's Cogswell with the backward K. Here comes a number 11 for Garfield. This is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the leadoff hitter, but I could be wrong on that. Before the game, there was a situation. The umpire, who I guess would be the base umpire, they had to have a little bit of a medical emergency for him. The first aid unit was called. The emergency medical unit was called, and there we go. So people are clapping it up. So I'm not sure if this is the same guy or if that umpire was taken somewhere. We hope, whatever the situation was, that he's okay. Nakamura into the line in the pitch. Nice pitch. just missed it high, ball one. And Edgar's been up in the zone just a little bit today. So it's good to see now both umpires are here. We have a base umpire and an umpire behind the plate. Nakamura into the line. Here's the next pitch. He breaks off a curveball right at the knees, and pitch is swung over on by Henry Smith. Smith, the shortstop. Smith in the right-handed batter's box, waving that silver. Looks like he's swinging the goods, if I'm not mistaken. Although, from the way he's been probably doing his batting practice, it's like all the ink is worn off the end of that bat, so it's just silver. Here comes the pitch from Edgar. Edgar steps back into his wind. And that pitch is up high. So count is now 3-1, and we'll see if Edgar comes back with a fastball. He's had decent control with the curveball. He may break one off here. Very, very interesting situation for him. He's pitching from the full wind. Raises his Wilson glove over the head. Here comes the pitch. It's high, ball 4. So that sends Smith down to second base. I'm sorry, sends him down to first base. Of course, I've been watching too much of the Savannah Bananas where you get to just go run out for as many bases as you want to after a walk, I guess. Here comes number 25. This is J.T. Wayne. J.T. Wayne. He's got a really nice looking red bat. I believe that's a Marucci. Here comes the throw over from Edgar. High school baseball has not adopted the Major League Baseball rule, so Edgar can throw over there as long as he wants, and we hope that he doesn't, but he certainly can as he throws a second nice little snap throw over there. Edgar giving him the basic move, and then Edgar giving him the snap throw. Of course, Smith's crawling on his all fours getting over there. He's got his left foot right on the cut of the dirt. That means he's out about 10 feet. Here comes the pitcher, Nakamura. Curveball, and I tell you, when Edgar gets that curveball going, he gets strikes, and it's really, really difficult pitch to hit. Nakamura staring in, says yes to whatever sign was put down. Takes a look at the runner at first, fires in, and JT hits that ball to the second baseman for a 4-6-3, and that'll be it for the Bulldogs in the third inning. So they send 3 men up. They get 1 walk, but that was extinguished on the double play. And after 3 innings, it is the Garfield Bulldogs 1 and the Mercer Island Islanders 0.
And an interesting development, if you say the least. I mean, we're talking about a top-ranked team. Mercer Island is 5th in the state this year. Defending champions. They won the championship last year. This is a team that you'll see they'll keep their scores very low. They don't score a lot of runs, but it's very hard to score on these folks. So the fact that Garfield even has the lead and has scored 1 run on these folks is actually pretty impressive. As the Garfield Bulldogs are looking at getting in the 3rd seed of the Sound this year out of that Metro League. Other than West Seattle and Lincoln, who have been the cream of the crop as far as the Sound is concerned, you can see that that playoffs will start on the 3rd, but the first round buys will be on the 6th. I believe that's next Saturday, I believe. And these teams get to wait until then, until they have to play. That includes Lincoln and West Seattle, but also Bishop Blanchette, and then either O'Day or Seattle Prep will get that honor. And it looks like our batter is up, and we are ready for the 4th inning.
You heard it in the background. Doug Sinat, who is the PA announcer, Doug Sinat, he playing the tunes from the 80s. And here comes Henderson, the center fielder. He tries a bunt on Ben Bennett, and that ball gets fouled off and goes straight back to the Garfield Bulldogs padding on the backstop. But he was just playing, you dropped a bomb on me, and that's what Mercer Island's looking to do this inning, is drop a bomb on Garfield. We'll see if that happens. And it was an auspicious beginning by a bunt attempt. As this pitch is fouled off, this pitch from Bennett is fouled off over in our area, and it rattles through a couple of branches of trees and then falls harmlessly, hopefully harmlessly, onto the asphalt. So No fans were hurt over here. And that's a good thing. 0 balls and 2 strikes is the count on the center fielder Hendrickson, wearing the number 17, just like a Western Oregon center fielder back in I believe that was 80-something, but my mind doesn't go that far back. Yes, I wore 17 for Seattle Seahawks quarterback Dave Craig, who was our star at the time. Ben Bennett, he definitely has an idea how to pitch. Is pitching well, by the way. Gets a sign. Here comes a pitch. It's a fastball falls straight back. And Mr. Fuji didn't even flinch on that. You didn't even flinch. I saw that. I would have ducked out of that. Got a Franklin High School grad over there with the son on the Mercer Island Islanders. He's giving a little crap about that. Here comes the next pitch. A little bit of a slider. He spiked that pitch into the ground. I don't think he went. Bennett looking for some help. He's talking to the umpire and he wants to check for the appeal. What is the umpire on first? No, he didn't go. They could have just checked with me. I would have told him that. Please, that makes the count 1 ball. Oh, no, 2 balls and 2 strikes. I missed a ball somewhere in the equation. Catcher for Garfield is number 4. That is Ed Herrick. Another hit. He gets hit by a pitch, and so that puts him down there at first base. Henderson, the center fielder. I think the pitch just got away from Bennett. And also Henderson's in the left-handed batter's box, and that might have thrown something off. Here comes Wardell up. Wardell wearing number 5. And I like this kid's name is Cutter Wardell. There's a pitch. Fastball right down the middle from Bennett. Starts him off with a strike. Got a guy who can run a little bit. Your center fielder over at first base. We'll see if a little hit and run gets played or maybe not. Dominic Woody, who's had some success over there at Mercer Island. The next pitch is fouled off. Does not look like Hendrickson is going anywhere, at least for the first couple of pitches. 2 strikes the count. 0 balls, 2 strikes the count on Cutter Wardell. Bennett gets a signal, steps over and throws over to first base, throws it by. He threw a 45-foot fastball. That was actually a slow ball, maybe a changeup. Had the changeup grit. It hit about 3 feet in front of the first baseman and rolled all the way to the fence. And Hendrickson jogged basically down to second base. Absolutely gorgeous day here in Seattle, Washington. The sun, we call this a severe clear. Next pitch from Bennett, down low, and it's fouled off down the third base line. It was Cutter Wardell went ahead in full protection mode, swinging a Silver Goods bat with that big label, the Jack of Spades at the top of it. Bennett checking in runner at second base, getting a sign. Rocks, deals, high. Fastball was just a little bit out of zone. That's 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. Once again, an absolutely gorgeous day. I tell you what, a difference a week makes. My buddy Glenn Tanner was in town. We went to some baseball games. We went to some Kraken games. Hey, good luck tonight in Game 6, Kraken, as the next pitch is high. Ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes on the hitter, Wardell. The Seattle Kraken taking on the Colorado Avalanche, the defending Stanley Cup champion Colorado Avalanche. And tonight in Game 6, they have a chance to put the Avalanche out of the playoffs. The next pitch again is fouled off by Wardell. So good luck to Dave Hackstall, Philip Grubauer, and the Pepper Pot, Yanni Gord. See if they can get some things happening tonight. And they've got this town on edge, so to speak. Boy, people love their hockey in this town suddenly. People walking around in $350 Adidas jerseys. And just a marketing, unbelievable marketing by the Seattle Kraken. As a pitch this time gets away from the catcher of Garfield, number 4. That would be Ed Hurst. Is that Hurst? Hurst back behind the plate. Quickly jumps on that ball. Bennett, the knee, toss, down the third base line, picked up. The runner's check, the throw across the diamond. Nice play over at first base. Nice play over at first base to get the runner at first. And Hendrickson just couldn't get over to third. Here comes Austin Kupek wearing number 9 on his jersey. 1-0 Garfield. Top of the 4th inning. Ben Bennett versus Edgar Nakamura. Bennett checks Hendrickson. Pitch. Right down the middle. Strike 1. Both these guys, they don't have a lot of waste pitches, do they? They take the ball and they throw strikes, which is kind of cool. Bennett checks a runner at second. I don't think Hendrickson's going anywhere. Kind of slides off the base. Nice catch by the catcher. Once again, that's number 4 back there. That is Eli Hurst. Eli snapped that ball up. 1 ball, 1 strike. Normal lead by Hendrick. Shortstop and second baseman kind of playing cat and mouse with him. As this pitch comes right down the middle of the plate, maybe caught the outer third of the plate, but nevertheless a strike and a nice pitch indeed. Makes the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bennett would like to get this one here just to get out of this inning. Strand that runner at second base. Gets a sign. Second baseman goes over there just to check. Playing little games over there. We've seen those before. That's number 8, the second baseman. It's Noah Lippman. Creeps in behind Hendrickson. Kupek with this bat. Here's a pitch. Hey, Skies went out to right field. The right fielder's moving over there. Does you see? He gets it. He missed it. Ball goes all the way to the wall. Gets stuck underneath the wall. JT picks it up. This runner at Henderson is going to start. He got a really late start, and Kupek makes it all the way to third base. So that ties the game on a sun fly ball by Kupek. It was just so bright over there, and the right fielder trying to get a beat on it. And Daniel, I tell you, the high sky really makes it difficult for these guys to play right field today. Sun shading directly in his eyes. This brings up Barron. It's Neil Barron. First pitch bounces off the padding. That will be ball 1. I think that Bennett, just a little bit of a frustration pitch, was hoping to get out of the inning unscathed, and just got a ball that was handled and hit, and the ball just took off and kept on going. Next pitch, right down the middle, and Barron took a good hack at that, a healthy hack at it. Fouls it up on top of the building over Jason. So that's the gymnasium / Garfield Community Center. Here comes the next pitch. It's high and outside. Makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike. That's what I thought I had. Bennett staring in. Gets a sign from Hurst. Lets that pitch go just a little high. A little amped up, trying to throw it maybe just a little bit too hard. I know that feeling. You just want to take that ball and just throw it as hard as you can. Rises off the tip of your fingers and comes out of your hand high. Stays true, and it just rides up. Both pitchers having that tendency today. That's a nice pitch, but just misses outside. And that will be ball 4. So Barron heads down to first base. And this will bring up number 20 for Mercer Island. No, Dominic Woody's coming up, and he's actually going to talk to Gilroy. Actually, he's talking to the umpire. Tyler Gilroy. Dominic Woody wearing his maroon Jordans. Coming out there. Nice to see guys go off speed with their baseball shoes, especially the coaches. Got a man who played a little minor league baseball himself, is obviously in very good shape. I always tease Woody when I see him. You have no belly, son. I got to take him out and get him some food. Looks a little skinny for me.
Let's go, Tyler. Make some noise, Bubba.
Here comes Gilroy wearing the number 20. He's swinging a white Marucci. I believe that's a Cat X, if I'm not mistaken. These kids love their bats and these bats. Wait a minute. Here comes Modritzer. He's coming out. Modritzer comes out, and Bennett's like, what? What are you doing? That was beautiful, Bennett. He's having a little conversation with his senior pitcher. He does have a gentleman warming up in the bullpen. I don't have my glasses on, so all the numbers are a little blurry to me. But Modritzer brings everybody on the infield in, so everyone's having a little conversation over there on this beautiful day here in Seattle. So on the day of Game 6 of the National Hockey League's Western Conference quarterfinals, the Seattle Kraken tonight taking on the Avalanche, the Colorado Avalanche at 7 o'clock, puck drop, probably around 7:10. Dominic Woody talks to his base coach. It's a little something going on. The Mercer Island Islanders, once again, they've been one of the top programs in the state of Washington for the last 15 years. And have made multiple state championship appearances. I believe they won the state championship last year. So extremely good baseball teams coming out of Mercer Island. And then the Garfield Bulldogs. I would venture to guess on the public schools in Seattle, Garfield's right at the top.
They're the third seed out of the Sound this year, behind West Seattle and Lincoln.
Of course, we know about West Seattle having an unbelievable pitcher over there. And young man, we've heard tremendous things about that young guy. And with the first and third situation, the catcher's throwing out signals. And I'm sorry, I think I may have been misinforming everybody. Is the catcher number 1? Oh, it is. It is Hurst. So Bennett, after all those conferences and all those meetings, looked like a courtroom. He had a lot of sidebars going on, and then a big meeting at the plate. But now we're getting after it. So the outfield's playing straight away. Gilroy is a right-handed hitter. Another pickoff attempt by Bennett, but runner at first is going nowhere. Gilroy checking his signals. Stare at the runner. Here comes the first pitch right down the middle, and Gilroy swings and misses. Strike one. One strike. Bennett. Nods yes to his catcher. The knee goes up, and he goes over to first base again. Tries to get a little quick look at if there's any sort of first and third play on here, if he's going to take off. But runner said, no, I'm staying right here. Knee lift pitch, and Gilroy fouls that off. That looked like a 1980s swing, way out in front of it, and just hit it with one hand. The right hand came off the bat and looked like George Brett from the right-hand side. Out of the Kansas City Royal, hitters used to swing that bat and finish with one hand, and that's Gilroy just got out in front of it and just tried to make contact and just winged it with one hand. Hurst putting some signals on. Ben checking his catcher. Bennett, a captain for the Bulldogs. Here's the pitch. And it's a fly sky to right field into the gap. That's going to be a long run. What a catch! Catch is made out there, but Henderson's going to score. I should say Kupik. Kupik is going to score, and that makes the score Mercer Island 2, Garfield 1. So nice fly ball out there, but a nice catch out in right field by the Bulldogs. And here comes Mr. Shane DeRucci. Shane showing bunt. Misses it, and it's called a strike. Strike one to Shane DeNucci. I should say DeGucci. Let's pronounce these names right. Ben looks at first. Here comes the next pitch. It's a little bit outside. Snap, throw down to first. And runner gets back. Two, one Mercer Island, runner on first. DeGucci at the plate. Here comes the pitch. Little up. Ball. Two balls and one strike. To Shane DeGucci. Waving his maroon bat. Here's the next pitch. Swung right through it, fouled it straight back. We always said in college, when you foul one straight back like that, you just missed it. You're right at the point, and to hit a pitch and foul it straight back. And the ball accelerates when it hits the bat. So DeGucci looks like he's on this. We'll find out. Bennett studying the signals. 22, 2-2, and 2 at the plate. Here comes the pitch. Slider, and DeGucci goes down, and he looked like John McEnroe, left-handed tennis player, just trying to foul that ball off. Just spoiled that pitch. Mercer Island, you can tell, good disciplined hitters. Here comes the next pitch. It's high. The runner at first goes, and he's safe sliding into second base. So Mercer Island put a little run on. Getting down there. Here comes DeGucci. Man on second base. See if he can get a little. We used to say knock in the Gator. Gator sitting over there, or they probably say the little Islander down there. Knock in the Islander. Bennett steps back, not connecting with the signals. So he goes ahead and looks at this. Spirited dugout from Mercer Island. Next pitch is up high. So he walks him. Puts him on. So you got runners at first and second. And here comes number 4 for Mercer Island. And I think that's going to be it for Bennett. Bennett is looking like why. And Modritzer just took the ball out of his glove. And I don't think Ben is happy. Ben is not happy. I'm pitching against the state champions. And Modritzer took the ball out of his glove and walked back, had a couple of words he was saying to his coach. I'm sure friendly, but he did not want to come out of the ball game. And Ben Bennett pitching maybe one of his last games against one of the state's best teams. I don't blame him. So that's going to bring in a new pitcher for Garfield. It's going to be another left-hander. This is number 6. This is Max Gelpe. And Max is a 6'2", 165-pound senior. And like I say, these guys, physically, there's some big dudes. And Max is also a kid that looks real nice. He's got a purple jersey. Garfield in their classic purple. The white number 6 on his back, white piping, and a white Garfield across the jersey. Then you got the purple hats with the big G, we used to call it. You wear that big G, I bet you went to Garfield. He's got that on there. Of course, the white little button on top of the cat. Daniel, we're heading to the state playoffs. How are things looking?
We sure are, but the Metro playoffs are what's really next. And as we throw up the Metro League playoffs, which start next week, and those start on May 3rd, this Garfield Bulldog team, obviously, they have no more league games left, so they are seated. Where they're seated, they're set. These are all non-league games against Mercer Island, and I believe tomorrow they're at Bellevue. But they will be taking on the winner of a play-in game, which is currently in action right now between Roosevelt and Ingram. And they will host that game on May 3rd. Also, Ballard will be at Chief Self. And Lakeside is awaiting to find out whether they'll play either Seattle Prep or Eastside Catholic. And there is another play-in game at 7 p.m. tonight between Franklin and Nathan Hale. They will end up playing either O'Day, Seattle Prep, or Eastside Catholic. Although, like, the sound is all finished up and everything, but the mountain still needs to be decided. So as you can see, the standings as they are right now, Bishop Blanchette is playing O'Day today, and Seattle Prep is playing Eastside Catholic. If either Bishop Blanchette or O'Day wins, they will win the mountain. They will get the number 1 seed for the mountain, get a first-round bye. O'Day more than likely will get the second one, but if they end up losing to Blanchette and Prep wins, they'll lose out and have to play in the first round.
Well, here we go. Runners on first and second, and this is where Mr. Max Gelpy is picking up. Max is he hits a ground ball, goes off of his glove, picks it up and throws. He gets pulled off the bag, and the runner is safe. So Gelpy, a ground ball right back up the middle. He threw that big Rollins glove down, knocked it down, but despite what the manufacturer says, that ball didn't stick in the glove. He had to go chase it down, pick it up, throw to first base, pulled his first baseman off the bag, and now the bases are loaded. And here comes Chris Mock to the plate, wearing the number 2 on his back, swinging that maroon and yellow labeled Marucci, or is that the goods? And he did make contact for strike 1. 1 strike to Mock. And I like pitchers that work quickly, and Gelpy didn't even waste any time throwing a fastball by Mock for strike 2. 2 strikes on him. He gets a signal. Ball is open right where you can see it. His left hand tucks it into his glove, lifts his knee, throws. It was a changeup, and that was hit right to the second baseman, and that'll be the third out of the inning. But Mercer Island picks up another run. They are in the lead. So a double off the wall, and runners scored. So that will give Mercer Island the lead 2-1, I believe.
There you go.
Juan Cotto, Daniel Bellis, Rainier Avenue Radio .world. Mercer Island just leaves the bases loaded on a line drive to the second baseman. Dominic Woody wearing his Jordan-looking Nikes coming across the diamond. Heading over to talk to the umpire on a beautiful day in Seattle, Washington. Edgar Nakamura comes out for the 4th inning, wearing the number 21 for Mercer Island. So we said goodbye to Ben Bennett, pitching his last regular season game, I believe. Ben comes out of the game. Ben, his plan is to go to Salisbury State, and he's going to play a little baseball over there.
I must be hungry, Juan, because I thought I heard Salisbury steak.
Salisbury State, or I should say Salisbury University. So it could be Salisbury State.
Steak.
And I, like you, I could use a Salisbury steak myself. If anyone would like to bring us a Salisbury steak, come on up to 23rd Avenue in Jefferson. Find Daniel on the just to the left side of the fencing, and we'll get a little. We'll have a little barbecue going on if you'd like that.
Would like that for sure.
Beautiful day here at the ball game, and
beautiful day for Salisbury steak
in the background.
Yeah,
burning down the house. Probably a neighborhood where you shouldn't play that too loud. Here,
ouch! Wow.
Here is number 5 for the Garfield Bulldogs. Sometimes my sense of humor gets ahead of me. Oliver Hogan. Oliver Hogan stepping in for the Bulldogs.
Hogan's Heroes.
What a great show that was. I really enjoyed watching that show for many years. Here comes the pitch by Nakamura high. Looked like he just had a little, turn that one over a little tiny bit. But nevertheless, couldn't get it down in the strike zone. Ball 1. Hogan wearing the number 5 on his back, right-handed batter's box. He hits a line drive right where that pitch came from. Nakamura threw it up there at about 87 miles an hour. That pitch went right back over his head at about 98. And that will bring up the first baseman now, Ben Bennett, who once again will be attending Salisbury State University next year. He's going to be playing baseball over there. and eating as this ground ball is into the right-hand side. The second baseman makes a heck of a play. Throw across the diamond. What do we got? Oh, and they got them both. And Edgar Nakamura celebrates that one like Yanni Gord. He punched twice. Happy to get that double play.
Man, he had a double
And
helping.
Bennett was hustling the whole way. And a really, really sweet turn, 4-6-3 by the Islanders.
Whew, man, he had a double helping
Eli
of
Hurst.
that.
Oh, I thought they did call him out.
Oh, he's saying?
And we're waiting. We're waiting a little bit of a question on this here. Bennett's coming back and standing on the bag, and the umpire's going to go talk to the home plate umpire to confer. And let's see how this conversation goes. From this reporter's vantage point, I think he called him out. I didn't think it was a mixed signal, and he seemed pretty confident when he made the punch out. But let's see what the conversation leads to. Bennett is not leaving the bag. Modritzer standing about 25 feet to his right or to his left in the shade. That's a veteran move. Oh, and he calls him safe.
Wow.
He calls him safe. And now Dominic Woody's going to come out. Wow. Dominic Woody's coming to chat with the umpire, and he wants to hear about what happened. So he's bringing everybody in, and he's trying to pull everybody together, and they're not coming together. Always just go talk to him. So Woody is not going to be spoken to by the home plate umpire. The umpire said, you go talk to him. So it looks like the first base umpire changed his mind. Woody's having a conversation out at second base. Seems to be cool right now. So Woody kind of shakes his head. He's not satisfied with that answer. And he's walking up to the home plate umpire and he's asking, hey, what's going on? So he's at the cut of the grass, and you can almost hear the conversation, and now it's starting to pick up a little bit here. Woody's saying that he says that you make the call. He said, you make the call, so he's just kind of blowing him off, and Woody's going back. And asked, when was the last time you saw that? Well, you don't see a lot of it. Last time I saw that was when I was actually here at Garfield, really. So here comes Eli Hurst with Bennett at first base and one out in the inning. Hurst wearing the number 4. He's got stirrup socks. I like Garfield stirrups. The purple sock with the black stripes on it. The pitch from Nakamura is in the dirt. It's blocked. It is blocked. And that will be ball 1. 2-1 Mercer Island. Nakamura shaking his head, getting the signals. Raise up his Wilson glove. Here comes the pitch. Down low, ball 2. 2 balls. Crowd kind of gets into it, but in baseball, we love those arguments, don't we? People love to kind of get into it, and Woody put on a little bit of a show. Nakamura throws over to check on Bennett. Bennett isn't the type that's going to steal on you. Don't think he's the fastest guy, but he certainly knows how to run the bases. Gets a good lead, has his left foot still on the brown part of the carpet, and Hurst calls timeout. He wants to go through the signals again. Looks down at his coach, and the coach just said, hey, man, hit the ball. That's your signal. Barrel on the ball. Nakamura looks in. Brand new Wilson glove. Looks like it's beautiful, broken in. Nakamura throws over. Checks Bennett. They think they may have something going on. Is there a hit and run going? Is there? Maybe not. I thought I saw Clemente Cotto come cruising through here. Want to get a word with him when he comes in here. Next pitch from Nakamura. High. Catcher couldn't corral that one. Fakes a throw down, and Bennett is now down at second base, so he doesn't have to worry about that runner at first base anymore. Pitch was up in the strike zone. Bennett at second. 3 balls. 3 balls, no strikes. So we'll see if there's a take here, or we'll see if it swings the shaft. Nakamura's pitch catches the low part of the strike zone for strike 1. 3-1, still a hitter's count. Nakamura checks the runner at second. Bennett. He's got just a normal size lead over there. Looking to tie the game. Tying run is on second base. Here comes the pitch from Nakamura. It is a strike. The runner Bennett steals, and it becomes a strike 2. So 2 strikes, full count. Count is full. Nakamura had him 0-2. Next pitch from Edgar. He goes with the slider, and he catches inside part of the plate. And a definitive strikeout for Edgar on the slider. And I don't think that Hurst agreed with that call, but he heads over the dugout kind of walking. Looked like he took a lot off that pitch and might have been a curveball. Looked like it was the old-fashioned drop. Nice pitch from Edgar. Here comes number 8 for Garfield. This is Noah Lippman, who hit the ball off the wall in his previous at-bat. First pitch is inside, almost hit Lippman on the toes. Threw that pitch up there. 1 ball to Lippman. Lippman climbing in. He's got the goods in his hands. He's got kind of a green bat wrap around it. Edgar's pitch. Breaking ball. It's just inside. Just a couple inches inside from the pitch that he struck out Hurst on. Mercer Island's infield is playing straight away. The outfield is straightening away. Rainier Avenue Radio.world, our community radio station, your community radio station, spinning the hits and telling the stories of our kids right here at Garfield Park. Here's the next pitch high. Edgar. 3 balls and no strikes. Let's see if Edgar can battle back again. He went 3-0 in the last at bat against Hurst. Came back. See if he can come back and get him. The shade is starting to come across my back, and it feels good. That one's low and inside, ball 4. The pitch is dropped in front of the plate. Is he? He's safe. Bennett hustles in. Great hustle all the way around. Nakamura got to the plate. Bennett just got by quickly. The backstop is so close here at Garfield Park. So just couldn't get him. So on ball 4, we get I would have to call that a wild pitch. The runner scores. It is now 2-2, and here comes Juan Cotto. I'm going to call him Cano, or should I call him Cano? The first pitch is high. A lot of interesting ways to pronounce his name. Cano, and Robinson Cano. But we'll see if 19 can battle Edgar here. 0 balls, 1 strike. Here's the next pitch. It's a slider. It pops up out to the center fielder. Looks like he's under it. Looks like one of those balls I hit the Clemente in our tennis racket workout. So after the end of 4, it is Mercer Island 2, Garfield 2 after the end of 4. You are listening to Juan Cotto and Daniel Bellis live from Garfield Park on the corner of 23rd and Jefferson. The Mercer Island Islanders taking on the Garfield Bulldogs in a non-league game. Mercer Island is in the KingCo conference, I believe 3A. The Garfield Bulldogs are Metro League Sound Division.
Yes. And the Mercer Island Islanders, by the way, they are actually in first place in that KingCo division, by the way. Interesting. This is their the last game of the season. They can't do anything more about their league record as they have finished all those games. But Lake Washington is currently playing tonight in their last league game of the season. If they win it, they pull a tie with Mercer Island, and that means the title. Well, I don't know the KingCo rules, so that will be a tie, and they actually split their meetings with each other, so it makes it really interesting. So if you're a Mercer Island fan, you're definitely hoping that Lake Washington loses today so you can win that KingCo 3A title for this season.
Mm-hmm. I love the game of baseball, and Daniel, there's nothing better in the game of baseball. When you're calling a baseball game on a sunny day like this, and the shade comes across your back, brother. It's cooled off considerably
no
from when we started. So we're going to take that. There goes Max Clark up. wearing the number 10. And this is the pitcher for Garfield. As the pitcher's down low, this is number 6, and I should have his name committed to memory, but sometimes I got to go. Max Gelpy. Max Gelpy. Taking on, this is a battle of Maxes. This is a maximum battle here. Max Gelpy versus Max Clark. And how often do you hear two Maxes at the plate?
I mean, we're taking it to the max right now.
Got my max energy.
Woof. Oh, I want to follow that up, but I can only have anything.
Here goes the next pitch from Max. Max hits the ball to the shortstop, comes up on it, throws across the diamond, and that is 1 out in the inning. So
he maxed out.
He
maxed
maxed out.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got it.
Max maxed him out. Got 2 young guys behind us. Looks like we got some. If you're watching on you have the screens, you got me with a couple little guys behind me, and that's the future of baseball.
Oh yeah, there we are.
Major League Baseball plastic bat.
Yeah, there we go.
Something that we used to practice with quite a bit. I love these bats.
The kids are here. They're all right, you know. The kids are all right.
They really are. Max throws one up there. Got number 17, Hendrickson, the center fielder, scored the run last inning. Gelpy's next pitch. It's a Baltimore chop to the second baseman. Gets under it, throws across, and gets him. Short toss, and that makes 2 outs in the inning. 4-3. And here comes Wardell. Cutter Wardell. How many people do you know that are named after a pitch? He's named after the cut fastball, isn't he? Cutter.
He's definitely in the right sport.
He's got a good cutter.
He's definitely in the right sport. Or he's a chef.
Gelpy's kind of heating up here. Throws that pitch for strike 1. Check swing by Wardell. I wonder if this gentleman is related to John Wardell, the former University of Washington kicker. John Wardell, many years at Montlake, kicked extra points and field goals for the Huskies. Here comes the next pitch. Ball high. Cutter Wardell, nice-sized kid. He's in the right-handed batter's box. The right-handed batter's box at Garfield is a tan color. The field turf that was there must have worn out, and when they replaced it, they put in this tan color. Looks kind of nice. Ball over to the shortstop, toss across the diamond. Wardell is out 6-3, third out of the inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors by Garfield. Mercer Island on about 10 pitches is out in the 5th inning, and that's going to bring up Garfield for their half of the 5th. Right now, that makes the score 2-2.
All knotted up.
You are listening to Juan Cotto. You are listening to Daniel Bellis at Garfield Park. And you are also listening, if you can hear in the background, hits of the 80s, which I'm too young to remember.
Are you?
Yeah. I think I was born in 1990, Daniel.
You were not born in that. No.
Don't I wish?
Man, I was
Don't
5.
I wish?
I was 5 years old in 1990.
Jeez, I was more than that in 1990.
Oh, I'm sure of that. I don't know if you want to date yourself on the air.
I don't want to date myself on the air. I will tell you this, though. As Mercer Island has changed pitchers, we'll get some specifics on it in a second. It rained all of 1990 until June. That's all I do remember. I can tell you that.
Wow.
It was one of the rainiest years I remember. I just returned from Atlanta, and it rained and rained and rained. I remember until June 14th, I think, was when the sun came out.
Wow.
Crazy.
I'm sure you had some cloudy days
We
in the middle.
had rain and cool weather, and what do they call that? The upwelling, the uprising kind of kept it moist here. You should check the weather reports on that. People will remember that.
Well, I mean, as far as this year has been concerned, this is probably the first 70-degree day of the year.
Yes.
In Seattle this year. So, I mean, we haven't seen the sun like this since, I don't know, September? October, maybe?
It's been a while since the Seattle Mariners took on the Houston Astros in that playoff game. Let's talk about that.
We're playing 90s now.
He's got some hits going, man. This is a great place to watch a game.
By the way, if you like 80s, you like 90s, 70s, 60s, check
We
out
love it over
Star
here.
Time every Wednesday at 2 p.m.
Rainier Avenue Radio, our community radio station, your community radio station, kicking out the hits and kicking out some baseball. First pitch from this new pitcher here. This is number 7 for Mercer Island. Mercer Island's number 7 is a kid by the name of Coy, and it's Hounsell. Coy Hounsell is the pitcher. Number 7 for Garfield. He's a right-hander, a lanky guy. This pitch comes in. The Garfield hitter is number 2. This is Saul Johnson. Saul Johnson is facing Coy Hounsell. Hounsell, they don't have his height and weight. I'd venture to say he's probably 6 foot tall, 175 pounds. As the pitch is lined out to center, and that's an out right there for Hendrickson, getting back on that ball for the first out of the inning. This will bring up number 3 for Garfield.
Fielder number 3, Jeremy Cogswell.
Jeremy Cogswell, who is the left fielder. Garfield 2, Mercer Island 2, Rainier Avenue Radio.world, our community radio station, your community radio station. Here's a pitch. Strike from Hounsell. Hounsell, and you can tell why Mercer Island and Garfield are really good teams. Their pitchers throw strikes. We like strikes around here. Gets us home earlier.
We're not going into the 20s today.
There's another one. Hounsell. 2-2, Mercer Island, Garfield. Garfield Park in the shadow of Medgar Evers Pool with a faint smell of chicken in the air. Swing. Outside throw. He throws it over his head. Did he get it? He came down with it. Thought it went over. But DiNucci got it. Yeah, that's a ball I've thought about. I've coached at times. You might, with the sun glaring right in the first baseman's face, you might want to bounce that ball over there so that they can pick it up. But nevertheless, he went up and made a really nice play. The little Chris Mock over there. Here comes Garfield's number 11 to the plate. First pitch from Hounsell is a strike. Number 11 is Henry Schmidt, a captain, taking strike 1 from Hounsell. Schmidt in the right-handed batter's box. Here comes a pitch. Off-speed pitch, and he kind of served that one into right field, so that'll be a single. Get on base, and that'll bring up the center fielder, and this is J.T. Wayne. J.T. Wayne wearing the number 25.
JT.
I like J.T. Wayne shoes. J.T. Wayne has some multicolored shoes there. You don't see those often in baseball. When you do, it's looks like a kaleidoscope of color. And I'm sure those probably costed $24.99 at the sporting goods retailer.
Oh, I'm sure
As it's a ground ball to third base. Snap across the diamond. J.T. Wayne's retired by 2 steps. So a single, but that's all there was here in the 5th inning. So after 5 innings, it is Mercer Island 2, Garfield 2. At 6 o'clock hour. Oh, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Playing some cool soul music. And I'm sure that we have
Big Pop.
this on Rainier Avenue Radio. We have some cool soul music. If you like soul music, Rainier Avenue Radio has soul music. If you like urban music, Rainier Avenue Radio has urban music. If you like hits from the 80s, I don't know if Rainier Avenue Radio does that, but
No, they do. Start time.
see, they can
50s,
serve it up for us.
60s, 70s, 80s, and
KC
90s.
Diva asked an interesting question. Which would you rather have? Prince's Prince and the Revolution Purple Rain album or Michael Jackson's Thriller album? What would you choose if you could have Purple Rain or Thriller?
Wow. Probably Thriller.
I put on it. I responded on their Facebook post. PYT. I think everybody knows what that is.
Oh, yeah. I feel it.
Oh, man, it is a great day here. When you go to a ball game at Garfield, you see a little bit of everything, and we are seeing a little bit of everything today. We also are – Austin Kupik comes to the plate. You're also – and Max is still up on the hill. Max is still doing it. The first pitch is inside. Ball one. Max Gelpy. I tell you, I just so my hat's off to the Garfield boosters and parents. I love this little program. So helpful. Ground ball to the shortstop. Stands up, throws across the diamond. 1 out. So extinguish him quickly. A 1 out. 6-3 for Kupel. Here comes Barron to the plate. Neil Barron. So many of these kids nowadays, Daniel, they're pitchers only. I know that Edgar, and I've talked to him about that before. Clemente and I own a couple of Edgar Nakamura bats. And thank you, Top Velocity, give you a little bit of a commercial for that. But Edgar is now a pitcher only. He doesn't swing a bat anymore. It was a day where like every kid wanted to swing the bat, but some of these pitchers are just pitchers only, and they don't want to swing that thing. But Barron says, I'll take care of that for you. I'm going to come in here as a designated hitter. Here comes a pitch, and it is a strike. Fastball, left-handed. Mr. Gelpy is left-handed. Max Gelpy. Pitch. That is fouled off for strike two. 2 strikes. Max, his favorite walk-up music is Indeed by Little Baby. His favorite Bulldog moment was pitching at T-Mobile Park. And I guess for any kid that grows up in this era of baseball in Seattle, that would be the ultimate thrill, and Max has had that thrill. And then Max is going to be playing as this ball goes up the middle. Barron with a single up the middle. And that ball bounced on the field turf about 26 times going up there. He thought that the second baseman or shortstop could get to that ball, and so many times as you see in the cartoons, they just couldn't reach it. Max Gelpy, the pitcher, he plans on attending the University of Oregon. He's going to be a Duck. But he's planning to study business and play club baseball down there in Eugene. Dominic Wood coming up to have a conversation with the umpire, a little bit more cordial than the last time they spoke to each other.
Woo!
Dominic checking the roster. And he's after that single, they go ahead and put the pinch runner in. They call that a designated runner for the catcher. Allows him to get his shin pads on, but allows you to put a faster guy out there too. A little more offense in the game. Here comes Gilroy up to the plate. Mercer Island trying to manufacture a 2-out rally. Max Gelpy throwing strikes. We'll see which wins out here. Everything's in order. They got the runner over at first base. It's a little bit of a distraction, obviously, to the pitcher when you got a speedster on base, but he also has a left-handed pickoff move, so we'll see how this kid handles that as he looks to the plate and throws over the first. So, variety of different moves that Gelpy has. This one was the look at home and throw over. Let's see what he does this time. Gilroy in the right-hander's batter's box. If this pitch is inside, ball 1. 1 ball to the hitter, Gilroy. Gelpy gets a sign, takes a look, lifts his leg, throws. This pitch is fouled off, and it goes high and out of play and on to the top of that. I believe that is Garfield High School. It's the gym area, but I think that's a Seattle Parks Department building, if I'm not mistaken. It's an extension of the Garfield Community Center. Nevertheless, I bet there's a lot of baseballs on top of that little area right there. No way to retrieve those during games. Here comes a pitch. A little bit inside. Oh, he calls a strike. Strike two. 2 strikes. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Had to mix up my metaphors there. Is that pitch? And he didn't even wait. A ball off the end of the nab and has a spin to it. Bounced about 15 feet up the line and then just spun to the right. And many people have to understand the rule that ball can be fair. And if that spin happens, hits foul territory and goes back fair, it's a fair ball. And Gilroy had one that had a lot of English on it. Gilroy, number 20. Gelpy. That pitch is high and outside. Ball 2. 2-2 is the count. Gilroy spoiling off pitches and making himself a really tough out. Waving his white DeMarini. Here comes the next pitch. And line through the... Oh, nice play by the shortstop. Hard ground ball. And the shortstop, Schmidt, went down and got that ball. But he couldn't make a play. So here comes DeGucci. DeGucci coming up. And he has a little conversation with Dominic Woody before he does go up. And the catcher for Garfield went out and talked to Delphi. That's Eli Hurst goes out there now, a little conversation. Got runners at first and second with 2 outs. So once again, this manufactured inning by Garfield started to come to fruition a little bit here. And we will see what they do. 2-2. Beautiful day here in the city. We heard Steve Perry before the game. Singing some Journey and singing those songs that were so unique to us back in the 1980s, but still ring true today. The knee lift, the pitch, ball. Oh, he called it a strike. From this vantage point, it may have been low, but I don't question. Knee lift, the pitch. Strike 2. DeGucci swings through it. Knee lift in the pitch. Fouled off, and it's on top of that building again, isn't it? It is. Once again, it's the Garfield Park. It's an extension of the community center and the building that Garfield uses as a gymnasium. And there's a lot of baseballs over on top of there. Tell you that. Knee lift, fire, strike 3. Just chase a high pitch. Oh, that will be. I thought that was I thought there were 2 outs. With Marcus Abelhausen, the shortstop, coming up now. So now with 2 outs. Here comes Delphi. Normal leads by the runners. And that ball is skied to right field. It's way up in the air. It's got a lot of spin to it. The right fielder's under it, and he makes the catch. So Mercer Island gets a couple of men on base, but they are stranded in the 5th inning. So that will make actually, that was the 6th inning.
Yeah.
That makes the score Mercer Island 2, Garfield 2. 6.
It takes 2 to tango, Juan. And that's what these teams are doing. They're definitely tangoing right down to the last dance.
It is. I'm sorry. It is actually 3-2 Garfield. 3-2 Garfield.
Oh, it's 3. Okay.
That's where that scoreboard would be so cool if it was working.
I know. I'm a little.
Also,
lost.
if I was keeping score today, that would also have been a help. But I'd bring my stuff.
I'm a little lost right now.
Juan Cotto, Daniel Bellis, Garfield Park, Olmsted Community Park, trees lining this park all the way around. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's one of the most beautiful spots in Seattle up on the North Capitol Hill area. And, of course, one of the best teams in the state of Washington, Mercer Island, and the Garfield Bulldogs.
Yeah, Garfield's giving them everything.
And we are having a
worth.
great time. And if you're sitting over in Rainier Valley somewhere and you want to see a good baseball game, come over here. We're having a good one.
Bring us
of course, you're probably watching hockey right now. Everybody else is.
Well, bring us some Salisbury steak. If you were listening earlier, then you know what we're talking about. One of these players is going to.
I'll see my son will run over and get us some Ezels, Daniel.
Okay.
But
okay, son
he
of Cotto.
came, he appeared, and then he just disappeared. He knew I was going to put him on air.
Yeah,
I was gonna have him call an inning or two.
Okay, I'll take some
out of that. He might be talking to Edgar Nakamura and some of the Mercer Island guys who he works out with.
Oh, word.
Teasing him over there from his spot in the dugout.
Yeah. Here we go, bottom of the sixth.
Here comes seeing if Clemente will go to Ezels for us. The pitch fouled off. Garfield's number 5. I apologize to our listeners. I forgot my notebook. How are you? I forgot my notebook, so I do not have the ability to keep score. Normally I do that, and we'll be able to tell you what the hitter did, but it's just too nice a day for all of that. Just dream along with me as the next pitch comes in for a strike. Strike 2. This is Oliver Hogan, third baseman, and he just takes 2 swings and misses both times. 2 strikes on him. Knee lift the drive, the pitch, spike that fastball into the ground. Mercer Island's pitcher here, number 7. That is Coy Hounsell. Hounsell for those that are wondering. Coy Hounsell with a C. Here comes a pitch. Fouled that one off. Well, that's going to go to the parking lot, isn't it? Yes, it did. It is rolling. Looks like it's going to go all the way to the buses over there that are parked in the Garfield parking lot.
Wow.
Big bounce on that one.
A lot of pop coming off the bat.
Hounsell's pitch is lined into the gap. I don't think anybody saw that one over there. Mercer Island's right fielder was looking at it, and it is gone. It is gone. It is gone. And rounding the bases is number 5 for Garfield on a home run, and he touches all of their helmets. That is Oliver Hogan, the senior number 5.
Man, he really is Hogan's Heroes.
It's hard to see it, and that right fielder out there looked like he had no idea where that ball was. But when it came down, it didn't matter. It almost rolled into the soccer goal over there. As a matter of fact, I think it did. So he gets a really good taste of one, and that makes the score Garfield 4, Mercer Island 2. Wow.
Who saw this coming?
That brings up Garfield's number 18, Oliver Hogan. Strike 1. Oliver Hogan with the home run. It's Ben Bennett. Ben started as a pitcher. He's now the first baseman. Chops the ball to the second baseman. Throw across and gets him. Nice little hustle. So it's really tricky as a broadcaster, as you know, Daniel, when Mercer Island has 2 guys wearing number 2. Chris Mock, the first baseman, is wearing number 2. Shane DeGucci, the second baseman, is wearing number 2. So I now have unconfused myself because I knew there were too many twos out there. Here comes Eli Hurst, the catcher for Garfield. And first pitch is in for a strike. Hounsell wearing the number 7 on his back. Marco Gonzalez also wears the number 7. Here comes the pitch. It's down low. There's 1 ball and 1 strike. Hurst, a tall right-handed batter. Waving a red bat over his right shoulder. Looking out. Here goes a pitch. Bounced in. It bounced in right across the left-handed batter's box. So that makes it count 2 balls and 1 strike. Mercer Island parents and fans a little bit subdued. That was a rocket by Hogan. Let's see if Mercer Island can respond here in the top of the 7th. Pitches outside. Ball 3, 3-1 pitch coming up to Hurst. My son Clemente is over there with Edgar Nakamura and the guys, and he works out with the Top Velocity. They're all sitting over there probably talking a little nonsense. Whatever teenagers do. Great facility over there. Really enjoy working out there. And as the next pitch is from Hounsell is down low for ball 4.
Take your
so
base.
Hurst gets a little bit of walk. And here comes Noah Lippman. And Lippman also has hit a ball hard today and getting a chance to run for the catcher. So number 13 will come in and run for the catcher Hurst. Get a name for you in a second. I just don't want to call him number 13. Prince Davis. Prince Davis is the runner. And we played with Prince Davis at Seattle Central Little League a few years ago. And let me tell you something. This guy is more than a speed merchant. He can run a lot. See what they decide to do with Prince. And if Prince gets out there, and 1 foot on the turf, 1 foot on the dirt. Look in, here comes the pitch. Ball low. Ooh, Prince. Prince draws a throw down from Gilroy and gets back, but he got off a little far and just kind of stood there and was watching. And Gilroy took a shot at him, and Prince got it back. Of course, I got to watch my language here in North Capitol Hill. Prince wearing a pink arm sleeve. I understand he had maybe a little bit of an elbow issue this year, so he's got his pink arm sleeve on to keep that arm warm on a warm day. But it really, really clashes with the purple. Here comes the pitch. And that's a strike. I believe that makes it count 1 ball and 1 strike, if I'm not mistaken, but let's check in to make sure. Coy Hounsell checks in, gets signal. Prince. And the ball is down low. And this is what 2-1 counts. This is what baseball used to be about. Do you send Prince? We should talk about that. And, of course, with the new bigger bases in the major leagues, we're seeing more bases being stolen. But do you send Prince, who is an incredibly fast runner? He gets back as Hounsell checks on him, and looks like they've got the scouting report on Prince. Prince wearing the Garfield white number 13. He's leaning, he's going. And that ball is ripped to the third baseman. Toss across the diamond, no chance. And the tag had to be applied. And the out is 5-3 with a tag. So number 8 there, that was Noah Lippman. He ripped a shot. And here comes number 19 with the best name, great name, Juan Cano. Or Cano. Cano sees a pitch high in the strike zone. Ball 1. Wearing the number 19 on his back. Checking for the signals down there from Coach Modritzer, who is coaching first base, actually. Kids on the right-handed batter's box just have to look down the first base line to get their signals. I think his signals hit the ball, kid. Prince drawing a lot of attention over there. That guy's running around. He is quick. So they're going to have a little conference about this. Would like to extinguish this run. They don't want to give another one and try to give themselves a chance in the 7th inning. Garfield up 4-2. Very, very active day in the city of Seattle. We have 1 hour before the Kraken take on the Colorado Avalanche. Again, it's game 6. The Kraken went into Denver on Wednesday night, won that game 3-1, putting the defending Stanley Cup champions on the verge of elimination. Here was a pitch inside to Cano. So really exciting in the city of Seattle. People wandering around town in their $300 jerseys, getting prepared for the game tonight. Coy staring in, getting a sign. Prince getting a big lead over there at second base. Oh, they had a little sunshine play on, or a daylight play, as we used to call it. It was daylight between the second baseman, or we said the shortstop and the runner, but the second baseman creeped in, so they might have done that on a count, and certainly they want to see if they can keep Prince Davis close. Oh, my son is rubbing it in on us. He's got a big piece of chicken from somewhere. I don't know where he got that from. I had to get the report on that. Nick kicked the drive, the pitch. Oh, they'll throw that throw down, and a nice looking arm being shown off there by the catcher Gilroy. He fired that ball down to second base in order to take a shot at Prince, and Prince got back relatively safely, but that was a nice looking arm by the catcher number 20 Gilroy. Hounsell looking in, getting a signal. Cano waving that black bat. There's a pitch. Swing and a miss. Prince had a big lead. The ball gets thrown out in the center field. Prince was getting back. Gilroy threw the ball, missed the bag by about 15 feet to its left. Threw the ball in the center field. Nice backup. Prince was so preoccupied getting back to second base, he didn't see the ball go out in the outfield. Otherwise, he would have turned around. So he is still there at second. So Prince Davis's speed is creating a lot of mischief out there, per se. Hansel just said, I'm going to forget. I'm going to worry about the batter. Throws a curveball and gets him on the inside corner. So Kano takes that long walk back to the dugout. A little bit of a curve, just caught the inside corner. Might have hung a little bit. I think that might bug Kano, and he's just walking back and trying to figure out what he could have done, should have done, and might have done, but he didn't. So after 6, it is Garfield 4, Mercer Island 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what I thought. Is it 3-2?
I think
I thought it was.
Is it 4-2 or 3-2? They have the lead.
I thought it was. Yeah, so it's 3-2, right?
It's 3-2?
It's 3-2. Okay.
Okay, we've been reporting.
Thank you.
Okay, we got to fix this score here. Okay.
But this is the 7th inning, right?
I think we're starting the 7th now. And that's the final inning for high school, right? They don't do 9?
So the home run made it 3-2.
Okay.
Garfield also has a game tomorrow at Delby High School, 1 p.m. start. The Bulldogs' first Metro League playoff game will be next Wednesday, May 3rd, at the Southwest Athletic Club.
They are mentioning the playoffs real quick, and we'll throw that on the screen. We actually have some new news for that. We know who Garfield is going to play on the 3rd because that play-in game between Ingram and Roosevelt is now final. Ingram wins that one 9-5, so Ingram will play Garfield on May 3rd. So there you go, Bulldogs. You will play the Ingram Rams on May 3rd in your first round game. There you go. Also playing May 3rd, Ballard and Chief Self. And we're ready to start the 7th.
Here comes Chris Mock. So Mercer Island trying to get back in the ball game. Here was a pitch. And the first pitch is down low and outside. Ball one. So here, two senior day, Ben Bennett and number 6, Max Gelpe. Gelpe trying to finish this off. First pitch down low. Second pitch right down the middle. Strike one. So last time we were here, we saw Garfield, an underdog Garfield team, take on the O'Day Irish 2 years ago and win. And now you and I are back on a sunny day. Beautiful day just like that one. And Garfield is trying to upset another 3A power in Mercer Island this time. So here comes the pitch now. 2-2 the count. Max Gelpe. Chris Mock. That pitch is low. Ball 3-2. So the first batter goes as far as he can go. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We'll see if Mercer Island can get the leadoff hitter on. Here comes the pitch. It's hit right up the middle for a base hit. And that will make it. The tying run is on first base in the form of the first baseman, Mock. Here comes the right fielder, Max Clark. Maxwell Clark. Bulldogs. The amazing Bulldogs. Boy, they can come in here and they can pull some big upsets, can they? Here was the first pitch, strike one, right down the heart of the plate. Delpy and Bennett trying to see if they can stave off these Mercer Islanders. The next pitch is down low, but Clark takes a hack at it. Strike 2. 2 strikes are the count. Clark stares out to Delpy in the right-handed batter's box. Widens his stance a little bit. Ball spiked up there. Nice block by Hurst, the catcher. Eli Hurst kept the ball not exactly in front of him, but they did let it get past him. And as a catcher, sometimes that's just as important. Hook straps his shin guards back on, had one of the straps loose, pulled himself together. Here comes Clark looking out there. Pitch. Ground ball is like a swinging bunt to the third baseman. Picks it up. Hogan throws across the diamond. Throws it high. And now they're saying it hit his foot. Wait a minute. He's saying it hit his foot. Wait a minute. Dominic Woody's coming up to talk to this, and they have. There's the hitter Clark never left the batter's box. He said that it hit his foot. The base umpire is going to come and talk, and let's see what happened. I didn't hear that click. He's calling him for out and 1. So neither of them saw it. And Dominic Woody has had a tough day with this crew today. Waves his hand out. He just kind of waves his hand off at the umpire at second base. And both of them are watching and said it didn't go off of his foot. But here comes Hendrickson. Runner does advance, so 1 out. 1 out. Here comes the center fielder, Hendrickson. Muck at second base. Pitch is low and outside. Ball 1. Hendrickson swinging a black bat with kind of a pink logo on it. Looks like a Seattle Sounder uniform. Here comes a pitch. Ball 2 down low. 2 balls. The tying run is at second base in the form of Chris Mock, the first baseman. Here comes a pitch. Strike 1. Actually, 2 balls and 1 strike. Gelpe looking in. Here comes a pitch. It's lifted high to shallow center field. The shortstop and the second baseman are going out. Schmidt, the shortstop, makes the play, and that will be the second out of the inning. So now the Mercer Island Islanders are down to their final out. As the crow flies, these schools are separated probably by about 3 miles. But, of course, you have to go up 23rd Avenue, catch I-90, and go across. It's probably about a 6 or 7 mile ride, but probably a little bit closer rivals when they used to play each other more often. But for Garfield to take on Mercer Island, I'm sure it's a thrill. Wardell, the batter. Here comes a pitch. Strike down the middle. So Gelpy starts him out with a strike. Wardell, right-handed batter. Gelpy looking in. Here comes a pitch. Strike 2. Now Garfield's down to their final strike. Or Mercer Island, I'm sorry, is down to their final strike. Garfield would like to get this final strike. Their fans are all up. The bench is up. The dugout's up. Here comes a pitch. He spikes a slider, and that advances Mock. So Mock moves up 90 feet, and now the tying run is sitting there with Wardell at the bat. Wardell takes a deep breath, asks for the count. It is 1 ball and 2 strikes. He lifts a fly ball to left field. The ball is back. Center fielder JT gets there, and the ball game is over. The Garfield Bulldogs beat the Mercer Island Islanders on a beautiful Friday afternoon, 3-2. And Cool and the Gang celebration is being played.
Upset.
And you remember that song, as popular as it was in 1980, it rings true today for the Garfield Bulldogs as they win on a home run by Hogan. Oliver Hogan smokes a home run, and that will be that. That's the story. So a couple of conversations between the umpires and such, but nevertheless, the Garfield Bulldogs are able to take on the Mercer Island Islanders, one of the best teams in the state of Washington, and get the victory. And Mercer Island certainly shaking hands with a very, very, very game Garfield team today. And Chris Modritzer, what a nice day for him. The umpires, we hope that the umpire who was struggling in the parking lot is okay. We never did get a story on that. But the game was delayed about an hour, and the umpires are leaving the field. So Garfield took the lead early. Mercer Island came back. Garfield took the lead again. Mercer Island came back and tied it. And then the home run by Hogan, and that's the one that put them over the top. So with Daniel Bellis here at Garfield Park, it is a wrap. The Garfield Bulldogs win, and now we're looking forward to the state playoffs, Daniel.
Yeah, about the Metro playoffs first. You know, Garfield still needs to make that state playoffs if they come to the Metro playoffs first. And their next game is on May 3rd as they will host Ingram, who won the sound qualifier today 9-5 over Roosevelt. So Roosevelt eliminated. Ingram plays Garfield on the 3rd. For Garfield, they'll be at Bellevue tomorrow in another non-league game versus a KingCo opponent. And Mercer Island will actually be hosting Kent Lake tomorrow, who's actually, I believe, the leader out of the North Puget Sound League this year. So there you go. Congrats to the Bulldogs pulling off an upset that a lot of people did not see coming, but giving Mercer Island their 4th loss of the season.
Well, once again, we hope that the umpire is okay. And something happened out in the parking lot before the game, caused a delay of a half hour for the game. The umpire who was supposed to make the ball game ended up having a little bit of a seizure or something. The first aid car and a medical response ambulance were out there working with him in the Garfield parking lot. And so we're hoping that gentleman is all right. The game got started at 4:30. It was originally scheduled for 4 o'clock. And the umpire that ended up umpiring first base, the base umpire came after the 3rd inning. So he was only here for 4 innings. But in a contest like this, Dan, you want to make sure that everything is running full tilt. Even we got a late start on Rainier Avenue Radio, but we saw a classic ball game today.
Definitely the best game that we've broadcast all season.
And I can give you a couple of reasons for that. I can still feel my fingers. Woo! Hey, for Daniel Bellis, this is Juan Cotto, as we're going to go ahead and sign off, and I hope you'll be listening to Rainier Avenue Radio as we move on for the Metro League playoffs and also for the state playoffs. As we're starting to come up on the month of May, and that means state playoffs in multiple sports.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So from Garfield Park, Juan Cotto touching bases with you. Until we meet again, we will talk to you later.